Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A casualty to military personnel resulting from combat. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. An accident that results in physical damage or hurt. An act that causes someone or something to receive physical damage. Wrongdoing that violates another's rights and is unjustly inflicted. A casualty to military personnel resulting from combat. A casualty to military personnel resulting from combat. An injury to living tissue, especially an injury involving a cut or break in the skin. Hurt the feelings of. The act of inflicting a wound. Cause injuries or bodily harm to. A figurative injury, to your feelings or pride. He feared that mentioning it might reopen the wound. Put in a coil. The act of damaging something or someone. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. The occurrence of a change for the worse. Cause or do harm to. These pills won't harm your system. The act of damaging something or someone. Feel physical pain. Were you hurting after the accident? Cause emotional anguish or make miserable. A damage or loss. Feelings of mental or physical pain. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. Feel pain or be in pain. Hurt the feelings of. She hurt me when she did not include me among her guests. Psychological suffering. Damaged. Used of inanimate objects or their value. Suffering from physical injury, especially that suffered in battle. Ambulances for the hurt men and women. Be the source of pain. Cause damage or affect negatively. Our business was hurt by the new competition. Give trouble or pain to. This exercise will hurt your back. Any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident or fracture, etc. An emotional wound or shock, often having long-lasting effects. An accident that results in physical damage or hurt. Military personnel lost by death or capture. The amount by which the cost of a business exceeds its revenue. The company operated at a loss last year. Military personnel lost by death or capture. The disadvantage that results from losing something. His loss of credibility led to his resignation. Euphemistic expressions for death. Gradual decline in amount or activity. Weight loss. Something that is lost. The car was a total loss. The act of losing someone or something. Everyone expected him to win, so his loss was a shock. The experience of losing a loved one. He sympathized on the loss of their grandfather. A state in which you are unable to function normally and without pain. A state in which you are unable to function normally and without pain. A state in which you are unable to function normally and without pain. Anything that happens suddenly or by chance without an apparent cause. Winning the lottery was a happy accident. An unfortunate mishap, especially one causing damage or injury. Activity that transgresses moral or civil law. Activity that transgresses moral or civil law. Activity that transgresses moral or civil law. He denied any wrongdoing. Departure from what is ethically acceptable. Activity that transgresses moral or civil law. Behave badly. Manage badly or incompetently. Bad or dishonest management by persons supposed to act on another's behalf. A wound that would cause an English soldier to be sent home from service abroad. A wound that does not damage important internal organs or shatter any bones. Strip of feathers. Pull a chicken. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. He was sidelined with a hamstring pull. Perform an act, usually with a negative connotation. Pull a bank robbery. Remove, usually with some force or effort, also used in an abstract sense. Pull weeds. Special advantage or influence. The chairman's nephew has a lot of pull. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. The ad pulled in many potential customers. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Pull out a gun. A slow inhalation, as of tobacco smoke. Take sides with. Align oneself with. Show strong sympathy for. I'm pulling for the underdog. Tear or be torn violently. Pull the cooked chicken into strips. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. A declining dollar pulled down the export figures for the last quarter. The act of pulling. Applying force to move something toward or with you. The pull up the hill had him breathing harder. Cause to move by pulling. Pull a sled. Strain abnormally. I pulled a muscle in my leg when I jumped up. A device used for pulling something. He grabbed the pull and opened the drawer. Apply force so as to cause motion towards the source of the motion. Pull the string gently. A sustained effort. It was a long pull but we made it. Hit in the direction that the player is facing when carrying through the swing. Pull the ball. Move into a certain direction. The car pulls to the right. Operate when rowing a boat. Pull the oars. Rein in to keep from winning a race. Pull a horse. Steer into a certain direction. Pull one's horse to a stand. Take away. Pull the old soup cans from the supermarket shelf. The force used in pulling. The pull of the moon. Separate or cause to separate abruptly. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. State of being torn or burst open. The act of making a sudden noisy break. A painful wound caused by the thrust of an insect stinger into skin. A mental pain or distress. Operation designed to catch a person committing a criminal act. The police conducted a sting operation. Deliver a sting to. Cause a stinging pain. Cause a sharp or stinging pain or discomfort. A kind of pain. Something as sudden and painful as being stung. The sting of death. A swindle in which you cheat at gambling or persuade a person to buy worthless property. Saddle with something disagreeable or disadvantageous. Cause an emotional pain, as if by stinging. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. The wrestler twisted his shoulder. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Twist the dough into a braid. Twist or pull violently or suddenly, especially so as to remove something from that to which it is attached or from where it originates. Form into a spiral shape. The cord is all twisted. Turning or twisting around, in place. With a quick twist of his head he surveyed the room. A miniature whirlpool or whirlwind resulting when the current of a fluid doubles back on itself. A circular segment of a curve. An interpretation of a text or action. To move in a twisting or contorted motion, especially when struggling. Extend in curves and turns. The path twisted through the forest. A hairdo formed by braiding or twisting the hair. The act of winding or twisting. A jerky pulling movement. Any clever maneuver. A sharp bend in a line produced when a line having a loop is pulled tight. An unforeseen development. Practice sophistry. Change the meaning of or be vague about in order to mislead or deceive. Don't twist my words. The act of rotating rapidly. It broke off after much twisting. Do the twist. Form into twists. Social dancing in which couples vigorously twist their hips and arms in time to the music was popular in the 1960s. They liked to dance the twist. Turn in the opposite direction. Twist one's head. An intense or violent exertion. Difficulty that causes worry or emotional tension. She endured the stresses and strains of life. Cause to be tense and uneasy or nervous or anxious. Test the limits of. Become stretched or tense or taut. The rope strained when the weight was attached. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The act of singing. Remove by passing through a filter. Separate by passing through a sieve or other straining device to separate out coarser elements. Use to the utmost. Exert vigorously or to full capacity. Don't strain your mind too much. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A new strain of microorganisms. A special variety of domesticated animals within a species. He created a new strain of sheep. The general meaning or substance of an utterance. To exert much effort or energy. Straining our ears to hear. An effortful attempt to attain a goal. Rub through a strainer or process in an electric blender. Alter the shape of something by stress. Psychology, nervousness resulting from mental stress. His responsibilities were a constant strain. Injury to a muscle, often caused by overuse, results in swelling and pain. Physics, deformation of a physical body under the action of applied forces. Emotional injury inflicted on an infant by events incident to birth that is alleged to appear in symbolic form in patients with mental illness. Physical injury to an infant during the birth process. A painful wound caused by the thrust of an insect stinger into skin. A small amount of solid food, a mouthful. Wit having a sharp and caustic quality. The bite of satire. A light informal meal. A strong odor or taste property. The sulfurous bite of garlic. The act of gripping or chewing off with the teeth and jaws. Deliver a sting to. To grip, cut off, or tear with or as if with the teeth or jaws. Gunny invariably tried to bite her. Cause a sharp or stinging pain or discomfort. Angling, an instance of a fish taking the bait. After fishing for an hour he still had not had a bite. A portion removed from the whole. The government's weekly bite from my paycheck. A wound resulting from biting by an animal or a person. Penetrate or cut, as with a knife. Injury caused the explosion of a bomb, especially in enclosed spaces. The flow of blood from a ruptured blood vessel. Injury incurred when the human body hits or is hit by a large outside object, as a car. Injury to the brain that impairs its functions, especially permanently, can be caused by trauma to the head, infection, hemorrhage, inadequate oxygen, genetic abnormality, etc. Tennis. A score consisting of winning a game when your opponent was serving. He was up 2 breaks in the second set. Breaking of hard tissue such as bone. The break seems to have been caused by a fall. Enter someone's virtual or real property in an unauthorized manner, usually with the intent to steal or commit a violent act. Be released or become known, of news. Fail to agree with, be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. It was presented without commercial breaks. Lessen in force or effect. Break a fall. An escape from jail. The breakout was carefully planned. Interrupt a continued activity. Force out or release suddenly and often violently something pent up. Break into tears. Any frame in which a bowler fails to make a strike or spare. The break in the 8th frame cost him the match. Go to pieces. Ruin completely. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Break a law. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Do a break dance. Kids were break dancing at the street corner. Prevent completion. Break off the negotiations. Become separated into pieces or fragments. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Terminate. Break a lucky streak. Surpass in excellence. Break a record. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The act of breaking something. The breakage was unavoidable. Happen. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A pause from doing something, as work. We took a 10-minute break. Stop operating or functioning. Fracture a bone of. Reduce to bankruptcy. My daughter's fancy wedding is going to break me. Assign to a lower position, reduce in rank. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. Break a piece from a whole. Break a branch from a tree. Make submissive, obedient, or useful. The horse was tough to break. A time interval during which there is a temporary cessation of something. Move away or escape suddenly. Nobody can break out, this prison is high security. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. They hoped to avoid a break in relations. Some abrupt occurrence that interrupts an ongoing activity. There was a break in the action when a player was hurt. Destroy the completeness of a set of related items. The book dealer would not break the set. Cease an action temporarily. Let's break for lunch. An unexpected piece of good luck. He finally got his big break. An abrupt change in the tone or register of the voice, as at puberty or due to emotion. Then there was a break in her voice. A sudden dash. He made a break for the open door. Be broken in. If the new teacher won't break, we'll add some stress. Become punctured or penetrated. Cause the failure or ruin of. This play will either make or break the playwright. Cause to give up a habit. Change directions suddenly. Change suddenly from one tone quality or register to another. Come forth or begin from a state of latency. Come into being. Come to an end. Crack. Of the male voice in puberty. His voice is breaking, he should no longer sing in the choir. Curl over and fall apart in surf or foam, of waves. Destroy the integrity of, usually by force, cause to separate into pieces or fragments. Diminish or discontinue abruptly. Emerge from the surface of a body of water. Exchange for smaller units of money. I had to break a $100 bill just to buy the candy. Fall sharply. Find a flaw in. Break an alibi. Find the solution or key to. Break the code. Give up. Break cigarette smoking. Happen or take place. Things have been breaking pretty well for us in the past few months. Interrupt the flow of current in. Break a circuit. Invalidate by judicial action. Make a rupture in the ranks of the enemy or one's own by quitting or fleeing. Make the opening shot that scatters the balls. Pierce or penetrate. Render inoperable or ineffective. Scatter or part. Separate from a clinch, in boxing. The occurrence of breaking. The break in the dam threatened the valley. The opening shot that scatters the balls in billiards or pool. Undergo breaking. Vary or interrupt a uniformity or continuity. Weaken or destroy in spirit or body.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.